Hello and welcome to the Weeball Podcast. Today we have a quarterback placement episode. We are going to be going over with 8 different locations, 8 different quarterbacks. We're going to see what happens. Tyler's joining me. Tyler, how are we doing, my good friend?
Doing good. Like you said, 8 different teams, 8 different quarterbacks. Noticing, looking at our list, we've got 2 divisions that each need 3 potential new quarterbacks. A lot of guys are going to be moving around. Who's going where? What's happening in the draft, free agency? We hope to, predict that somewhat well. I'm doing well. Excited to get started.
Yeah, I wish my team was on this list, but we're going to sign a mediocre quarterback to $45 million, unfortunately. And somebody will pull this podcast clip up if we do win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones, but we won't. So let's just kind of hop right into it. It's Combine Week. We're going to be hearing a lot about quarterbacks. There's going to be meetings. There's going to be, this, that, the next. But I think we should start off with, one of the bigger teams in this, the New York Jets.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets are the team that we hear linked to every veteran quarterback available. They're meeting with Derek Carr in Indy. Aaron Rodgers has been linked there all offseason, and they hired Nathaniel Hackett to be their OC, so there's obviously a tie there. We've heard Ryan Tannehill trade rumors. We've heard –
That's hard.
I mean, I don't even know. Am I covering all the bases here?
I think really Jimmy Garoppolo is a name that gets thrown around with the Jets.
Jimmy Garoppolo is the one that I'm missing. I mean, it's everybody. But
yeah,
are we
not a drafted quarterback?
Like, I mean, we could obviously – I don't know if we're going to have the same answer here. But this just, I don't know. This feels to me like it's always been the Rodgers destination. Okay. I know people talk about Las Vegas. They talk about him retiring. They talk about him, somehow coming back to Green Bay for one more year. I don't know. Maybe it's the cynical Dolphins fan in me. But this has always felt like the Aaron Rodgers destination. So I'm picking out of my pool here that I have of veteran quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers to succeed Zach Wilson in a New York Jets uniform.
Yeah, I don't even know if that would be necessarily succeeding him. I think it would be like, we're going to have Aaron for 1 year. If we win, good. Then he'll retire, and you get to sit behind him for a year. You're both weirdos. Then you can go for it, Zach, and see what happens.
Yeah, and that's the one thing about Saleh, if I want to touch on him, just touch on that topic real quick. He has been
Zach Wilson.
He has been the best coach in the NFL when it comes to the way that he's managed this thing. He's been we've been behind Zach this entire time. His future here is not over. The way that he has managed it, I don't know how he's done it privately, obviously, but to the public, to keep Zach Wilson's pride and, dignity intact, even though that he was a number 2 overall pick and he got benched in his second year starting. The fact that he's been able to say his time here isn't done. He has done all of the right things. So we obviously don't know how much of it he means, but I just think he's doing a great job there.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. He's great with the press. He's handled New York media so well. The 2 bald men in New York right now are doing a great job at handling the media with everything that's going on with their quarterback situations. But I don't know why. I don't feel like Aaron Rodgers is meant for New York. It just doesn't. He's Aaron Rodgers. It's New York media. I don't know if that's a match made in heaven at all. The type of media that Aaron Rodgers likes is Pat McAfee. So I don't really think those 2 things coincide. I feel like he might be Vegas, man. I don't know. He might go. He might not go anywhere. I think the guy could retire. I'm going to go with Derek Carr. It just makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I get it.
I
feel like it's one of those 2. I don't feel like it's somebody else.
I know, this is a new Jets team. They don't swing big, bro. They don't have these ultra mega superstars.
But they haven't done it yet. I feel like they haven't been this close before.
Dude, in their history.
This is a team that should have – no, I know, but this is new ownership.
They drafted Geno Smith.
This is a team that, this is a team that drafted a guy with that superstar persona in Sauce Gardner. That is a guy who literally calls himself Sauce. They're here for those big personalities, I think, more so now than they have been in the past. And I think that the reason you haven't seen them do it yet under this regime is because they haven't been this close. So that's either way.
That's fair. But I think I'm going to go Derek Carr with this one. Sorry to interrupt this great episode of the Wee Ball Podcast, but we got a little something to help you all out. We have partnered up with the great people over at SeatGeek to give you guys $10 off your first order if you use code WeBall. SeatGeek is the number one ticket provider, and I know football's over, but you got the XFL, the USFL starting soon, and then the MLB and MLS start soon. Hockey season and basketball season are both in full swing. It's a big time for sports, and of course, there's always concerts going on. So, whenever you want to go see an event, have some fun, night out on the town, you know what I'm saying? Use code WeBallPod, WeBallPod. All you gotta do, first purchase, $10 off. Don't say we never did nothing for you. We appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the love. Thank you.
As we move on, we have 3 AFC South teams. I think we should probably start with the hardest one here. In the Tennessee Titans, who are expected to move on from Ryan Tannehill. They're moving on from a lot of pieces. Taylor Lewan just got cut, Robert Woods, and everyone's favorite kicker, Randy Bullock. All 3 of them are gone. So, as for the Titans, we don't know how much they believe in Malik Willis. I'm not sure.
Do they at all?
But I don't know.
Josh Dobbs did play games last year when Malik was healthy.
Exactly. And there have been rumors that the coaching staff did not want him there in the first place, and that was more of an ownership and general manager pick. General manager has since been fired, I believe. Yeah. So
and the assistant has been hired somewhere else. So,
and I just don't know that Malik, the trust in him is high in that building. As for the Titans, I'm not sure. I mean, part of me just thinks, what if they kind of roll in with Josh Dobbs? But I kind of have a weird guess I'm going to throw out there. And it would be a lot of fun for the sake of the reunion. What if Marcus Mariota comes back?
Not what I was going to say.
I'm just saying.
I don't think that's going to happen.
What if there was a slight chance that they could bring Marcus Mariota? I mean, I doubt it.
Not get along.
I don't know. I thought, did they win the playoff game together? Who was the head coach when they won the playoff game?
Maybe it was Vrabel.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they won the playoff game, but that was the one where Mariota had like the touchdown pass to himself against Kansas City.
Yeah, I don't think they won that game. Did they win?
Either way, that's kind of my out there guess. Part of my heart just says that Josh Dobbs will somehow be the week 1 starter, or they're going to draft somebody in like the mid rounds.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But my out there guess, for the sake of being fun, would be a Marcus Mariota reunion.
I think Stetson Bennett. No, I'm kidding. Could you imagine if Stetson Bennett was the week 1 starter for the Tennessee Titans?
No.
Oh my God, it'd be incredible. But I think they do draft a quarterback in the late rounds again.
I have an idea that you might be saying. Go for it.
I don't think I'm going with that idea. Although that idea is what I want to say, but I know we'll just get like bias. I'm going Hendon Hooker.
No, that's what I was thinking. That's actually exactly what I was thinking.
I thought you were going to go way later.
No, I meant like
Jake Haener.
I meant like day 1 starter, but like at least somebody that maybe – or no, he can't day 1 start because –
he can't start day 1, but I do think he'll be the starting quarterback.
Okay.
He says he thinks he'll be ready. He'll be close to ready by spring training. Not spring training. That's not what it's called. Training camp. Sorry, baseball in the brain. Check out Mind Baseball. Use code the Base Pass. That's a plug that shouldn't be in this show. However, listen, I'm plugging things left and right here. I think it just makes sense. Tennessee, Titan, it just feels right.
The thing is, this seems like a team that is 1 year away from, drafting a franchise quarterback, like a set in stone one. And we see this far too often, that teams right before they're going to draft a quarterback, they take a little half measure just to and
it screws them.
Hang on for a year, and then they end up losing a draft pick. And I'm not saying that Hooker would be a bad draft pick at all. I think that he will probably be good value based on wherever he goes because of the injury. There's going to be a lot of things that drag him down. I think he's the kind of guy that if he goes early day 3, let's just say, that's probably really good value. But at the same time, This is a
I
team in
don't think
Tennessee
it's a
that
good idea.
probably wants to turn it around quickly. I don't know that, dedicating 2 or more years to a guy that you're going to take early day 3 is going to be the move. You probably want a contributor. And they're probably like, if they did that, they might be drafting another quarterback the next year. I actually do see the vision, though. Like, it just happens far too often. It makes sense.
Yeah, like they should be aiming for a Drake May they should be probably trading Derrick Henry for anything they can get. Getting him off the cap, building with Treylon Burks, draft O lineman. Like Treylon Burks can be your wide receiver 2, find a wide receiver 1, draft late round O lineman just to try and build up some depth, find a blue chip at any position really, and then draft Caleb Williams or Drake May, even Quinn Ewers, like any of those guys really. Just draft somebody good in the beginning of the first round next year, because that quarterback class seems to be loaded. We don't know if any of that will come to fruition. This quarterback class looked loaded, and I guess it is, but it also doesn't feel like it is.
It's also not as deep as we thought it was going to be. Like, a lot of guys go back, and that's the case every single year. We have no clue if Drake May is going to look at, like, let's just say even he looks good. Let's just say he looks like he could be a lock for the number 2 pick. Who knows if he just goes back and is like, I'd rather be number 1. Like, we see that a lot. We see guys go back, even guys who might go in the first round. We saw with Justin Herbert a few years ago, who was probably going to be the top quarterback off the board. He goes back to school.
Tim or Kyler, yeah.
All of a sudden, he's not the top quarterback off the board, but he's still a first-round pick guy. So we don't know. Now, I think next we should probably stay in the division. Team with the number 2 overall pick currently kind of fumbled the bag on getting the number 1 overall pick in their last game of the season because of a quarterback they drafted in the mid-rounds in Davis Mills. It's the Houston Texans.
There's an easy answer.
There's an easy answer. We know what I've said. I've said it on the podcast. I've said it in articles. I have said it in YouTube videos. Bryce Young.
It's BY9.
Bryce Young he's a perfect fit there. I mean, I think in
get him back with Mechie.
Open him up, get him with Mechie. Hopefully Mechie, fully recovers, makes it back healthy, man. Even if he's not playing, you just want to see him make a full recovery.
Yes.
But I think Bryce is a great fit there. D'Amico is, a young defensive coach. And I think that's kind of like, having another San Francisco guy on the offensive side of the ball, pairing him with one of the smarter quarterbacks in this class and just kind of letting them go to work. I think that can be a really fun duo. You want somebody that you can mentally rely on, and I think that's the kind of guy Bryce is. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Bryce.
I find it funny that people are saying, oh, he's Patrick Mahomes-esque, and then being like, but he's this height, and I would never draft him, not with my life. A week ago, you called him, all right, we're not going to get into ESPN. We're not going to do that because one day, things happen. But it's just the Bryce Young – we're overthinking Bryce Young the same way we overthink everyone every year. People are doing it with Will Anderson. Like, people are doing it with a lot more players this year than they normally do. People overthought Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon didn't have a great year, but he's still a good player. People are doing that to like a lot of players in this draft, and it's going to get people in a lot of trouble and probably fired. But, I think that it's a good and safe idea to go with Bryce Young. Now, I know because of his size, you might not think it's a safe idea, but he's the smartest quarterback in this class, regardless from top to bottom. And he's a good football player. Like, draft good football players should always be the number 1 thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think that Bryce is, like we said, I think it's the answer to both of our questions here. I think that we should probably move on to the last team in the AFC South and our 4th team overall. It's the Indianapolis Colts, who recently hired Shane Steichen to be their new head coach. And coming from a system that did a lot with Jalen Hurts, I know Steichen also has experience with Herbert. I think that those are 2 different types of freaks in 2 completely different ways. And I am going to stick another freak with Shane Steichen this time around. It's a little bit of a project, but he's my favorite quarterback in this draft class for a reason. I'm taking Anthony Richardson for the Colts. I think that getting a rookie quarterback is the way to go. They're sitting at pick 4. I don't know if they're going to trade up. If they do to 1, it probably wouldn't be Richardson because I don't think they're going to anticipate getting jumped on him. We don't really know what that order is going to pan out like as of yet. The combine is right around the corner. It's literally starting as we speak. We're going to hear a lot more in the coming days about what chatter is going to come out, and then we're going to hear for the next 2 months guys try to cover it up and lie about what they said at the combine. I'm picking Anthony Richardson. I think that getting another guy who can move, I'm not saying that he is the power of he's not the same powerful runner that Jalen Hurts is, but you can do a lot of similar things in that zone read game, designed run game. I think that Anthony Richardson would just be an awesome fit in that type of a system. Go pair him up with, some bigger receivers who can make catches out of their frame like Michael Pittman. I think it's a fun duo in Indianapolis.
I think AR is probably the pick. But they could go Bryce. I don't think they will. They could, because Irsay's been vocal about it, and I don't think Irsay's the smoke type. I think he's the I got drunk and said some stuff type. So no offense to Jim Irsay. Love your work, pal. Especially when you took a dump in Josh McCown's house, and that's why he didn't become your head coach. But I think that Jim Irsay's a character, and I think he just says what's on his mind, and he's like, listen, that guy from Alabama looks pretty good. So maybe they go Bryce, maybe they make the trade. I don't think that's a good idea. They should probably just, go with Anthony Richardson. They should just draft a quarterback. Let's be honest. They shouldn't sign anyone. They shouldn't go after an Aaron Rodgers type. They shouldn't go after Derek Carr. They should just draft a quarterback. Drafting a quarterback is a good idea for a team in their situation. They have a blue chip guard in Quinn Nelson. You have a good running back for now. I don't know if you're going to want to pay JT long term. Probably is not a smart idea just in general. And if you have a young quarterback, maybe you can afford to do so, but you're not going to really want to pay a guy like Michael Pittman either. So maybe don't move more draft capital by trading up. Probably, again, not smart. Just draft at 4 who's available. I think that's your best bet if you're the Colts.
Now, are you saying that your specific pick is Anthony Richardson? Because I would say you probably – okay, yeah. Then we kind of agree on 2 out of the 3 AFC South teams and the 2 drafted quarterbacks that we've gone to thus far. Number 3, our next drafted quarterback is probably coming with this next pick. It's the Carolina Panthers, and the first of our 3 NFC South teams that we think could be making a change at quarterback. I think that the fit here makes a lot of sense. Frank Reich loves his pocket passing quarterbacks. He loves guys that can tear you up. And his best year in Indianapolis was with who at the helm? Phillip Rivers. And who in this class could have that kind of impact, especially mentally on the game? Somebody that we've seen has the ability to make those throws, to process at a higher level than much of the quarterbacks in this class. None other than CJ Stroud. I know a lot of people think Will Levis because he likes those taller, bigger quarterbacks per se. I'm personally picking Stroud here. I think it might be more of a pocket passer archetype, more so than it is a size archetype. And I just think that matched up with the things that Reich can do and that system that he has brought in, not to mention that Josh McCown, the aforementioned Josh McCown, put out videos on the Underdog Fantasy account. If you are not using our code with Underdog Fantasy, make sure to be using code WeBall, but that's not the point. Josh McCown put out videos on each of the quarterbacks and pretty much stated that his favorite quarterback in this class before getting hired as the quarterback coach in Carolina was CJ Stroud. So I'm connecting all the dots here. I've got the paper trail up on this board behind me. I'm picking Stroud for the Panthers. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's the pick. But what if they got a decent wide receiver core? They got a half decent O-line if Ike Ekwonu comes through. Their defense is stacked. What if Frank Reich swings big? What if he goes and gets Aaron Rodgers? I'm just saying. No, that's not happening.
I think they're probably drafting a guy. Their defense is closer to competing than they get credit for, but they have not been this high up in a while. And I think that ownership
Frank Reich doesn't want to have to deal with Phil Rivers again.
That ownership group is probably very annoyed by dealing with the fact that they've had to get back-to-back years that are Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, PJ Walker. They can't keep doing it.
MVPJ.
They can't keep doing this over and over again.
Neither can Frank Reich. He
did it with Carson Wentz,
Yeah.
I mean, they played
Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, and Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, back to back to back.
That stinks.
There is a trail there to get a veteran. I just think that both sides are tired.
I don't think he wants to again. I think he's tired of it. He's done.
Yeah,
he's
the
done
record shows that they would get a veteran. I don't think
Yes.
it's happening. We both have CJ Stroud.
He's a good guy. I think he's a good quarterback. That's all. That's really all I got. He's just kind of box standard, like very average dude. I think CJ's he's got the mentality to be good at the next level, and we'll see how it goes for him.
Definitely. Up next, I think we're going to stick in the NFC South with a team that just lost a quarterback widely regarded as the greatest of all time. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Brady's retired, and who knows what they could do. They've said, I think they said today at their press conference, I don't remember who spoke. It may have been Bowles. I forget exactly who it was, but they said something to the effect of, we would have played Kyle Trask last year had Brady retired a year previous. Obviously, what else are you going to say to the media? We're going to say, no, he sucks. We would never play him. That would have never happened. So they drafted this guy in the second round, though. There's obviously a little bit of faith in him. I don't know if they're going to move on from him or not. I personally think that this is a team that is about to cut a lot of guys, trade a lot of guys, and kind of ride that tank into 2023. I'm sticking with Trask. I don't know what you're doing per se, but I think there are going to be a lot of teams in 2024 or in 2023 that are looking at that 2024 class and are like, Caleb Williams is not out of reach if we play bad enough. So
I'm gonna be maniacal. I'm straight up. I'm gonna be a little maniacal on this one.
Let's hear it then.
I think there are two options. I don't think Bucs fans are going to like to hear me say either of these options.
Ooh.
I think they are going to either bring in Marcus Mariota.
Okay. That probably makes more sense then. Yeah.
To compete with Kyle Trask. If
a backup
Trask,
has to
works,
come in.
Yes. If it's Trask, it works. If it's Mariota, cool. You signed him. He plays. If Mariota doesn't play, it doesn't really matter. He's probably only getting like $1 million or like whatever the quarterback minimum is. I don't know. Like quarterbacks are weird. They get different prices than everyone else. Or they bring back a hero of his time. He can see again. His name is Jameis Winston. Who knows, man? It could be fun. They should just do it. Have him and Mike Evans back together. He sees better now. He got LASIK. He's not hurt no more. Everything he said last year, everything hurts. If you go back home, nothing hurts. You feel better when you go back home. Home cooking makes you feel good. Jameis, welcome home. That's all I have to say. People aren't gonna like that one, but that's what I'm going with.
I have to say, just for the sake of having a fun one, even like if it's not necessarily going to happen, that's probably the most fun out of any of the choices we've made so far. So I'm not opposed to it. I
love those two choices. I love both of what I just said.
We do have one more NFC South team left before our final team that will probably go our final rookie quarterback. But this time it's the New Orleans Saints. And I saved the specific quarterback for this very moment. You picked him earlier to go to the New York Jets. I'm picking him now to be a Saint. He's already met with them a couple times. It was the only team that he chose to meet with before he got cut. Now he's meeting with them in Indy. He's meeting everywhere. He's literally in Indianapolis for the combine just to go meet with teams. I'm picking Derek Carr to be the next quarterback of the Saints. This team is allergic to losing games. They will fight their hardest to go 7-9 or 7-10. And I understand it because the way this division's panned out, that might go win it for you. So yeah, I think Derek Carr is my choice here. Do I like it? No, not at all. Not one bit.
No one likes Derek Carr.
But do I think it could happen?
I think he's a great guy.
No, not even Derek Carr. I think there are fits for Derek Carr that I like. I think Derek Carr on the Jets, fun. Derek Carr on the Jets.
That's it.
Fun. Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
But even though I hate the Jets. But at the same time, I just don't think that the Saints should be tearing it down and being one of these teams that's all in on getting a rookie next year and like just rebuild it. But they won't. So Carr's my pick. You have a pick. Who is it?
I'm gonna get a little wild with it.
Of course you are. Wouldn't like it any other way.
3 options on this one.
3?
You heard me.
You had 2 before. Now you got 3. What's going on?
Ryan Tannehill.
Hey, it's a quarterback that neither of us have matched to any spot, and he's going somewhere. I don't know if it's starting, but he's going somewhere, and he's a guy that teams continue to believe in. So I don't hate it. Next.
Daniel Jones.
All right. This weird belief that Daniel Jones isn't getting paid by the Giants is absurd. Listen. We were talking about this before the show. Teams would rather lie to themselves and tell themselves because they already paid somebody that they don't have to worry about quarterback, then have to go find a quarterback who's better. They would rather live with somebody mediocre or of Daniel Jones's caliber and lie to themselves saying that he's good, than go out and find a good one. I'm sorry. Daniel Jones
is a great quarterback. I don't know what you're talking about. I think Danny's a great quarterback. I think that there's one team in the NFL that truly believes the salary cap does not exist. That team is the New Orleans Saints. They're going to give Daniel Jones $45 million. Obviously, this is not a legit thing that I'm saying right now, but it could happen. You know, if he doesn't go to the Giants, it's probably the Saints or like the Commanders that are going to pick him up.
Yeah. Which is a team, the Commanders notably are a team we left off this list. I think both of us are kind of weirded out by what they're going to do. And we're kind of just staying. They're going to stick with Howell. But you have one more potential Saint.
I have one more quarterback. I think that I think it's finally time. I think it's been a long time coming. I think this guy deserves a shot to be starting quarterback in the league.
There are 2 guys that are coming to mind right now, and both of them scare me. Go.
Take a guess. Take one guess.
I'm not guessing here because I don't like my guesses. You're go.
The quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to look directly at the camera for this one. Taysom Hill.
Okay, that is not right. I honestly thought you were going to go something more wild. I thought there was like a Drew Brees coming out of retirement or like a – you said it's been a long time coming. Yeah, I was like, is this a retired guy? Like, I can't be dealing with this. Is this Brady coming out of retirement? Brett Favre.
He's coming back.
Jay Cutler, you are the quarterback. You are.
Why did he come to mind for me when I was about to say Taysom Hill? Like that's someone who came to mind when I said
Jay Cutler.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think Jay Cutler should be a college football coach. By the way, that's a side note, but I think he would be a great
I don't need
coach.
To be in shape because I play quarterback. Jay Cutler for you.
Yes, I think he should be a coach at like a Sunbelt school. I think that'd be so much fun.
Fair. We're not even going to expand on the Taysom Hill. I'm cutting you off.
Taysom Hill. Why not? Tell me why not. Give me one reason why Taysom Hill cannot be the quarterback of the Saints. They're going to cut Michael Thomas.
Quarterback to be quarterback of the Saints.
Alvin Kamara.
That's my point.
Hold on. Alvin Kamara is probably not going to play next year. Let's just be honest. It's not looking great for bro. But that, you know what that leaves them with? No weapons. You know who is Weapon X himself? Taysom Hill.
Isn't that Brian Dawkins' nickname?
Yes, and that's why I said it.
All right. We have one more team left, and they might be the only other. We have one more team.
Oh, we do have another team. Oh my god.
And they lie in the AFC West. And I think our pick
I went big because I thought it was the last one.
Well, I want to see your 3 picks for this one. It's the Raiders. The last team is the Las Vegas Raiders. Jay Gruden. Unretire as a coach. Wait, is Jay Gruden on a coaching staff?
We're gonna go with the Raiders here. They're probably drafting it, but I'm not gonna say that. Obviously,
he's no longer coaching either. He's just not.
He's probably with like the 33rd team. Let's be honest.
He was an offensive consultant with the Rams last year. The 1 year the Rams are awful. I think we figured out why.
Didn't McVay work for him?
Yeah, in Washington, I think.
Washington. Okay. Hey.
Wait, wasn't McVay or Shanahan? I don't know. Not the point. Okay, the Raiders. If you're a Raiders fan, I'm sorry to hear. I'm sorry that we had to, muddy your thing up with saying Jay Gruden's your starting quarterback. At this point, it could be Jarrett Stidham. However, I think we both have the same guy. It's the one guy we haven't mocked to any of these teams, and he's a first-round pick. Like, it's going to happen. It's Will Levis. It's Will Levis. I mean, I don't think there's much else to say. He is. I think that
you would be wrong. You would be wrong. I'm going with Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
I'm going Mac Jones. Give me Mac Jones for 500.
Let me explain my Will Levis pick first. It's the last quarterback available. We understand that Josh McDaniels has always liked his quarterbacks to have a little bit of a running ability when he's had more input. They had Cam in New England. That was successful for a little bit before the wheels fell off. Cam had like 5 touchdowns. When he got COVID and his arm like pretty much fell off,
yeah,
that's like really when it was the end of the road for Cam. I mean, we've seen it with like he tried to run it with Tebow. Like he likes his quarterbacks with a little mobility. I'm personally picking another one.
Tebow, goddamn,
big arm guy. I think that he could honestly play pretty well in that offense. It's not a Shanahan system, sadly, but it's the closest we're going to get here for Josh McDaniels. I'm picking Will Levis.
All right, so I think Will Levis is definitely an option at 7. But I'm going to say I actually have one that is also going to go kind of coinciding with Mac Jones. Drew Lock.
Drew Lock?
I think Drew Lock could be the quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders. I almost said Oakland. No, but like obviously the realistic pick here is
Levis.
Will Levis. But it's the Raiders. I don't think I need to say more. They're going to do something weird. McCown and Mac Jones had success. Since he left, Mac Jones has gotten like legitimately worse. And now the Patriots hate Mac Jones. But they liked him enough to take him at 15.
Who knows if there's a quarterback that they like, you know?
Little
switcheroo. I mean, I hate it.
Mac Jones in 15 for 7, I think.
Yeah, 7.
Mac Jones in 15 for 7? I'm just saying. Or you just throw like a 4th for Drew Lock and see what happens. Drew Lock's a fun guy. I think he'd be good in that system. I think he, he's got a cannon. He's got a little bit of giddy up,
My other outsider pick, I'll make an outsider pick. It's not really
Have some
one.
Fun, Tyler.
But I never mocked this guy to a team. What if Jimmy Garoppolo went to go work with Josh McDaniels again? What if Jimmy Garoppolo went to go do some work with Josh McDaniels again? And they were like, because this team has Devontae Adams. They've got Darren Waller. They've probably losing Josh Jacobs, not the point. They've got Hunter Renfrow.
Darren Waller and
but they have those guys on their roster. That's my point.
They in fact
Josh McDaniels is in a point in his coaching career that I don't know if this guy, I mean, they might draft the guy just for the sake of, him not losing his job, but there might be a win quota this year. And I know that the AFC West is rough, but you might have to go try to maximize your team with some sort of guy. And I didn't pick a team for Garoppolo. What if they go get Garoppolo and Will Levis? What if they start Garoppolo for half the season? Will Levis comes in. I think that Garoppolo makes a lot of sense there. I don't know how good that relationship was, but it's possible.
They do like running quarterbacks. What if they went and got Taysom Hill?
Taysom Hill is not going anywhere. We need to wrap this up.
Taysom Hill's a starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders next year, with Jared Stidham backing him up, and Will Levis is the third string.
What if Russell Wilson goes to the Saints, and Taysom Hill goes back to his long lost king in Sean Payton?
Oh, what a world it would be! What a world! They trade for Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, and Taysom Hill for Russell Wilson. What a world we would live in!
The quarterback rotation of Kendall Hinton and Taysom Hill is winning the league
and killing fantasy owners everywhere.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
If you did not draft Kendall Hinton and Taysom Hill to play your tight end and quarterback spots, are you even winning your fantasy league?
That is going to be it for the Weeball podcast. We have a lot of things.
As it should.
This
is the last episode ever. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We're done.
No, but in all seriousness, we got some big things coming. Draft season's kicking into full gear, and you know how we love the draft. We love to talk about drafting players. Obviously, I didn't today because I'm tired of talking about the quarterbacks going to the same 4 teams. However, it's a fun draft class. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to fix y'all's franchises division by division. So we got some big things coming. Y'all stay tuned, and thank you for listening to the Weeball Podcast.